Welcome to US Coins Hub, the place where hidden secrets, rare treasures, and unbelievable coin values come to light. Here, we uncover the rarest US coins, shocking errors, valuable key dates, and the stories that turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary finds. If you love hunting for rare and valuable coins, you're in the right place, because every video could reveal the treasure sitting in your pocket right now. And today, we continue our exciting Washington Quarter series, where we expose the rarest designs, valuable errors, and high-demand coins collectors are chasing in 2025. Let's dive in. Top 1 today, we're diving into a classic piece of American history, the 1974 Washington Quarter. Now, don't let the fact that it's a common quarter fool you. Listen closely, because by the end of this video, you might discover that this coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The Washington Quarter, first issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, has long been a favorite among collectors. The 1974 edition may seem ordinary at first glance, but for collectors, it carries unique characteristics and rare variations that make it highly sought after. This coin comes from a fascinating era in U.S. history, a time of economic shifts, cultural changes, and the final years before the country transitioned fully into the modern coinage system we know today. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of George Washington, crisp and detailed, with the word Liberty proudly inscribed above. Below, the date 1974 is etched, a date that may seem common but holds special significance for collectors who know where to look. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of strength, freedom, and resilience. The eagle design, combined with the precise lettering and minting details, makes this quarter a true piece of American numismatic art. But what really makes the 1974 Washington Quarter fascinating are the rare variations and minting errors that occasionally appear. Some coins from this year were struck with double dies, misaligned features, or other subtle errors that only trained eyes can spot. These minting anomalies can dramatically increase a coin's value, especially if it's in uncirculated condition. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that not only survived decades without wear, but also carries a unique error that makes it one of a kind. That's the kind of discovery coin lovers dream about. Collectors also pay close attention to the coin's condition. While millions of Washington quarters were minted in 1974, most circulated heavily, acquiring scratches, dings, and signs of wear over the years. A coin that has remained untouched, preserving all of its original luster and sharp details, is incredibly rare. For serious collectors, condition is everything. A pristine 1974 Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a piece of history frozen in time. And here's something that will make you pay even closer attention. There are some ultra-rare 1974 quarters that were struck with experimental or unusual minting methods. These special coins were not intended for wide circulation and were often overlooked for decades. When one of these rare coins surfaces, it becomes a true collector's gem, instantly grabbing attention and commanding impressive prices in the numismatic market. So, if you're holding a 1974 Washington quarter in near-perfect condition, or better yet, one with a unique minting error, you could be looking at something extraordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, a 1974 Washington quarter, in pristine condition and with rare variations, could be worth $86,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $86,000 for a single quarter. Something so small, so seemingly ordinary, can hold unimaginable value for the right collector. So, the next time you're sorting through coins, don't overlook the Washington quarters from the 1970s. That one coin could be a treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 2, we're taking a closer look at a classic piece of American history, the 1979 Washington Quarter. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin from the late 1970s, but if you listen carefully, you'll learn why collectors are eager to get their hands on this one. By the end of this video, you'll discover a jaw-dropping value that might surprise you. The Washington Quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday, and over the decades, it has become one of the most beloved and widely collected coins in the United States. The 1979 edition might appear ordinary, but but it carries characteristics that make it highly desirable for collectors. This was a period when the U.S. economy was going through interesting changes, and coin production reflected subtle variations and minting anomalies that now make certain quarters extremely valuable. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar profile of George Washington, striking and detailed, with the word Liberty inscribed above and the date 1979 below. The design captures the dignity and importance of America's first president, making it an iconic symbol that coin collectors appreciate deeply. On the reverse, there's the eagle with outstretched wings, perched above arrows and olive branches, representing strength and peace. While the design is familiar to many, the true intrigue lies in the coin's details, condition, and rare variations. What makes the 1979 Washington quarter so special in the eyes of collectors? The key is rarity, minting errors, and condition. Millions of quarters were minted that year, but very few have survived in uncirculated or pristine condition. Most circulated heavily, accumulating scratches, wear, and dings over time. Coins that have retained their original luster and sharp details are incredibly rare, making them highly sought after in the numismatic market. Some 1979 quarters even feature unique minting errors. These can include double dies, misaligned strikes, or other unusual anomalies that occurred during production. Coins with these errors are like one-of-a-kind treasures. They stand out from the millions of regular quarters and attract collectors willing to pay premium prices. Even small variations, like differences in lettering, spacing, or relief, can dramatically increase a coin's value. For collectors, condition is just as important as rarity. A flawless, uncirculated 1979 Washington quarter is more than just a piece of currency. It's a piece of history preserved in perfect form. These coins are rare because most were used in everyday transactions, making it increasingly difficult to find one that hasn't suffered wear. A coin that has been carefully stored and maintained over decades becomes an instant gem in any collection. Now, here's the moment every coin lover has been waiting for. If you happen to have a 1979 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $83,000. Yes, that's right, $83,000 for a single quarter. Something so small, so common in appearance, can hold incredible value for the right collector. So next time you're sorting through old coins in your collection, or even checking change from the past decades, pay special attention to the Washington quarters from 1979. You might just be holding a hidden treasure. Top 3, we're taking a close look at a fascinating piece of American history, the 1981 Washington quarter. On the surface, it might look like an ordinary coin, but if you listen closely, you'll discover why this particular quarter has become a coveted treasure for collectors. Stick around until the end, because you won't believe how much this 1981 Washington quarter could be worth in today's market. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and over the decades, it has become one of the most iconic coins in the United States. The 1981 edition may appear commonplace, but for collectors, it carries a special significance. This was a period of transition for U.S. coinage, where minting practices and small variations created coins that are now highly sought after. Let's dive into the design. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of George Washington, crisp and dignified, with the word Liberty proudly inscribed above and the date 1981 below. The reverse showcases the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, perched above arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. While the design is classic, the real collector appeal comes from the coin's condition, minting quality, and rare variations. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Millions of Washington quarters were minted in 1981, but very few have survived in uncirculated or pristine condition. Most were used in everyday transactions and show signs of wear, scratches, or dents. Coins that have retained their original luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces are incredibly rare, making them highly desirable to serious collectors. In addition, some 1981 Washington quarters have unique minting errors that significantly increase their value. These errors can include double dies, misaligned strikes, or other anomalies that occurred during production. Collectors love error coins because they are essentially one-of-a-kind pieces that stand out from the millions of standard quarters in circulation. Even subtle variations in lettering, spacing, or the eagle's feathers can transform a regular coin into a highly prized collectible. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A 1981 Washington quarter that has been preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition is more than just a piece of currency. It's a piece of history. These coins are rare because the vast majority were circulated and naturally worn down over time. The few that have survived in pristine condition are instantly recognized as treasures by collectors, often fetching incredible prices at auctions or private sales. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal. If you happen to have a 1981 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. $81,000 for a single 1981 Washington quarter. Something so small, so ordinary at first glance, can hold an extraordinary value for the right collector. So next time you're going through your coin collection, or even pocket change from decades past, take a closer look at the Washington quarters. You might be holding a hidden gem. Top for we're turning our attention to a classic piece of American history, the 1982 Washington quarter. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary quarter, but listen carefully, because this coin holds surprises that make it highly coveted among collectors. Stick around until the end, and you'll find out just how much a 1982 Washington quarter could be worth. It's going to blow your mind. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. First minted to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The 1982 edition might seem ordinary at first, but for collectors, it carries special significance due to its rarity, condition, and occasional minting errors. This was a time when coin production was booming, but subtle variations and anomalies in the minting process have turned some of these quarters into hidden treasures today. Let's talk about the design. On the obverse, you'll see the iconic profile of George Washington, sharply detailed with the word Liberty proudly inscribed above and the date 1982 below. The reverse features the classic eagle with outstretched wings, perched above arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength, peace, and resilience. While this design is familiar to most Americans, the true collector value lies in the coin's condition, rarity, and the occasional minting quirks that make certain pieces unique. So, what makes the 1982 Washington quarter truly special? Despite millions being minted, very few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most coins were used in everyday transactions, and over time, they picked up scratches, dents, and other signs of wear. A coin that has retained its original luster and sharp details is rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for such well-preserved examples. But it gets even more interesting. Some 1982 Washington quarters have minting errors or unusual variations that can dramatically increase their value. These can include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other subtle anomalies that make a coin one of a kind. Even tiny differences in the lettering, spacing, or eagle design can turn an ordinary quarter into a highly sought-after collectible. For collectors, these rare errors are like finding hidden treasure, a single coin that stands out from the millions in circulation. Condition is just as important as rarity. A 1982 Washington quarter that remains uncirculated, with no signs of wear or damage, is more than just a piece of currency. It's a snapshot of history, preserved in time. Coins like these are highly prized because the majority of quarters from that year were circulated and naturally worn down. A pristine coin instantly becomes a centerpiece for any collection and can fetch extraordinary prices among collectors and investors alike. Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to have a 1982 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $79,000. Yes, that's right, $79,000 for a single 1982 Washington quarter. Something so small and seemingly ordinary can hold incredible value for the right collector. So, the next time you're sorting through old coins or checking pocket change from decades past, take a close look at Washington quarters from 1982. You might just be holding a hidden treasure. Top 5, we're focusing on a fascinating piece of American history, the 1985 Washington Quarter. At first glance, it might look like a regular coin from the mid-1980s, but if you listen carefully, you'll discover why this particular quarter has become a coveted treasure for collectors. Stick around until the end, because the value of this coin might surprise you beyond imagination. The Washington Quarter has been a mainstay of American coinage since 1932, originally issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, it has become one of the most popular and widely collected coins in the United States. The 1985 edition may seem ordinary, but for collectors, it holds special significance due to its rarity, condition, and occasional minting errors that make some examples extremely valuable. Let's start with the design. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of George Washington, detailed and dignified, with the word Liberty above and the date 1985 below. The reverse features the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength, peace, and resilience. While this design is well known to most Americans, the real collector value lies in the coin's condition, the rarity of uncirculated examples, and the subtle variations or errors that occasionally appear during minting. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. Millions of Washington quarters were minted in 1985, but very few have survived in uncirculated, pristine condition. Most were used in daily transactions and naturally accumulated wear and tear. A coin that has retained its original luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces is incredibly rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for such exceptional examples. Adding to the intrigue, some 1985 Washington quarters feature minting errors or unique variations that can dramatically increase their value. These errors may include doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other anomalies that occurred during production. Even minor differences in lettering, spacing, or the eagle's features can transform an ordinary quarter into a highly sought-after collectible. Coins with these rare minting errors are like hidden treasures waiting to be discovered, and their scarcity makes them highly prized in the numismatic world. Condition is just as crucial as rarity. A 1985 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition isn't just a piece of currency. It's a snapshot of history, preserved perfectly over decades. Coins like these are extremely rare because the majority were circulated and show signs of wear. For collectors, an uncirculated or error coin instantly becomes a centerpiece for any collection and can command impressive prices in the market. And now, the moment every coin lover has been waiting for, the big reveal. If you happen to own a 1985 Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000 for a single 1985 Washington quarter. Something so small, so seemingly ordinary, can hold unimaginable value for the right collector. So next time you're sorting through old coins or pocket change from decades past, pay special attention to Washington quarters from 1985. You could be holding a hidden gem in your hands. If you enjoyed this exploration of rare coins and their incredible values, make sure to like this video, subscribe to US Coins Hub, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.